Hello and welcome back to another video. So I hope you have been enjoying my videos. Please subscribe to the channel and share these videos with friends, coworkers, anyone who you think would benefit from it. And for today, I want it to be more of a relaxed video in a sense, and I'm just gonna be talking. And yeah, I was kind of like really struggling to figure out what to talk about in the next video, just because there's so much going on right now, with the pandemic, with work, with trying to advocate for our Latino communities because they are getting hit by COVID, but then also all these innocent Black people being killed. Like, it kind of feels uncomfortable to just come out and be like, yeah guys, so random video about some random topic that has nothing to do with like the world's dying. And so yeah, I was kind of struggling with that, but I guess trying to have this space be like an escape from all of that. Today I wanted to talk about basically what I've been up to since I graduated this past December, and I think it'll be something beneficial to talk about just because everyone should be graduating, within these months. If you haven't already graduated in May, it might be coming up, and it's just, I feel like it's even more stressful, or a bit stressful once you finish either with high school or with college, because you're always like, what's next? Like, what do I do next? It might not be it might not be that difficult if you're going from elementary school to high school, because you're still kind of following like what everyone is doing in a sense. So like, there's not much thought that goes into it. But once you're going from like high school to college, not everyone wants to go to college. College is not for everyone, and you shouldn't be forced to go to college either if you don't want to go. And so, I just wanted to give my input on that as well. And so if you are a high school student and you are graduating, be yourself, follow your heart, follow your dreams. If you want to be a musician, go be a musician. If you want to go do art, but like, do what makes you happy. And I know like families tend to drill the importance of like education, like, oh, you should be in school and you should try to become a lawyer and a doctor and everything, but it's honestly not for everyone. And that's totally fine, but like, talk to your parents, talk to your family, whoever's drilling you to like keep going to school. Like, just tell them that you want to do what makes you happy, and if that's going to college, then that's good for you, but if it's not the end of the world. And for those graduating from college that are now moving into like getting jobs in your field, it's going to be very scary. It's going to be very intimidating, because for the most part, I'm assuming you spend your time focusing on your schoolwork, focusing on grades, checking the boxes that you have to check to get to your like dream career. But when you start looking for jobs, they want 20 years of experience and like so many degrees, and you gotta start somewhere. It doesn't matter if you are not at the most high-paying, prestigious job. Like, just get your foot in the door, start somewhere. Look for people that are already in your business field, or like, maybe not business field, but like in your area that you studied in school. Look for people, reach out to people. If you're on Twitter, just stalk some people. Like, if you're trying to find business people or medicine people or research opportunities, like, do your digging, do your Googling. Like, get your friends from college if you know anyone that maybe you studied with. maybe they're having better luck finding positions or things like that. And ask for tips. Reach out to the people that you know when you're looking for a job, because you never know who can get you what. And I think for the most part, I always was more timid to ask for help if like I wanted a position. Like I wanted to do it myself, and not because I didn't want to ask for help, just more so because I was scared to ask for help. And when I was doing my cancer research, I knew some pretty important people, or at least people that knew people that, you know, could potentially get me a job. But I never wanted to use those people because, for one, I felt like I was using them, and like I felt like guilty and that I shouldn't. But then also I'm like, that's what they're there for. Like, they're there to be my mentors, to be my supporters, to see me succeed in, you know, the career path that I want to be in. And they also want to help me. Like, it's not just like they want to see me do better too. And so, like, the people that I know are always willing to pitch in and help. And so I guess that's a little spiel on that. If you're struggling to find a job, reach out to people that you know, talk, and do your research, search, apply everywhere, anywhere, sky's the limit. And I guess in terms of myself now, what I've been up to. So I graduated in December of 2019, and I was volunteering at Mi Medico since last summer. And you know, as it kept getting closer to the date that I was going to graduate, I really liked my time at Mi Medico. I liked volunteering there. I helped organize a volunteer program there while still an undergrad. And it was just like the perfect mesh of like helping students, but also getting clinical experience and, you know, learning behind the scenes of what it takes to run a private clinic. And I really fell in love with what I did there, and I'm very passionate about what I'm doing at the clinic. And so luckily the doctor realized that, took note of that, and so I don't know what he saw, or like if he saw anything, but he offered to hire me as an employee there. And so started coming in more, started getting trained, initially just to be like a receptionist, just to answer calls, make appointments for patients, check them out, check them in, and you know, just small things like that, I guess. And that was fun. Like, I was already excited enough for that. I was like, oh yeah, like that'll be like great. And it was pretty difficult to do. There was a lot of learning I had to do in terms of like learning how to get around our EMR system, and like basically like knowing how to direct calls and to who. Like, if a patient calls with questions, I can't just pull the doctor out of like the room with the patient. Like, there's certain protocols you have to do, and so that was a little tricky learning in the beginning. And eventually, like, you know, I wanted to keep learning, not necessarily just what like a receptionist would do, but you know, how can I help patients, and like, can I start taking vitals? And what I really liked about the clinic that I'm currently at is that they do a lot of cross training. So medical assistants know how to run the front desk, but also, you know, people who run the front desk, it would be nice if they knew what medical assistants do. And so after I think I started officially working there maybe sometime in November or December. And after working there, I think it's been this past month, so maybe like April and May, I've started getting trained as a medical assistant. And I enjoy that a lot, just because I get more of that like personal contact with patients, and like I get to know them more and I get to talk to people, and I love talking to people. And so I've been doing that. So being trained as a medical assistant now, and still running the front desk, and you know, helping train others, and we're all training each other in a sense. Like medical assistants are teaching me what to do, but I also get to teach them what I know about like running front desk, and I really like that. And for example, today I got to practice how to draw blood, and that was pretty fun. I drew blood on my boyfriend, and I did it twice, so that was cool, and then once on the doctor. And you know, I like learning all of that stuff, and you know, I don't really know if that's exactly what I'm going to be doing as a doctor. Like if I do decide to go into primary care or whatnot, like I might decide to do some other field within medicine, but you know, as of now, I like doing that, and it's fun, and I enjoy it. We practice. We have like training days, and so today was like the little training day, and so I practice how to take blood pressures and their pulse and checking their oxygen levels. I drew blood. Every now and then I'll get a practice giving a patient a vaccine, and things like that. Again, all under supervision. I'm not just doing this on my own. There's a billion people watching me, making sure that I'm doing it right and not gonna kill someone. But it's been really nice to actually work in the medical field, especially during a time like COVID, with all this that is going on. It's a very unique perspective right now with everything that's going on, and it does get scary. We've had patients that come into our clinic with COVID, and we have to gown up, and it's scary because you know, you don't know if you're gonna get COVID or not, or maybe I already have had COVID and just was asymptomatic. Like I just don't know, and so that has been scary. But you know, everyone that comes into our clinic is so nice. Majority of them are Hispanic, so it's nice that I get to talk to them in Spanish, and there is no language barrier. And I think I've mentioned this before in a couple of my other videos, but I really like that unique perspective that, like, you know, I've worked in areas where there's not many Hispanics, and so everyone usually talks in English. So for example, I worked at a coffee shop in the South Loop area. It is pretty diverse, but not many Latinos, or at least everyone that would go in would speak English, but every now and then we would get like a person who only spoke Spanish, and I would hear them struggling to speak English, so I would talk to them in Spanish, and then they'd get so happy, and you would just see like this big smile on their face that, you know, somebody spoke the language that they spoke. And you know, that's great. And I'm glad that they get happy when they hear that I speak Spanish, but I would not like to be in a clinic where I was the only one who spoke Spanish. Like, not in a clinical setting. That is something where it's crucial for there to be someone who does speak their native language. And so that's why I love working at Mi Medical, because they don't get surprised when you talk Spanish. They expect it, and that's how it should be, because they should get their care in their native tongue, because there's so many things that can be misinterpreted, or like there could be a lot of miscommunications when you guys don't speak the same language. And so I really like that aspect of Mi Medico, and I like that we all get to speak Spanish to each other, and everyone understands everything, and it's like a family, and you get to treat your family, and you get to help them with their health problems, and they just feel comfortable telling us anything and everything. And so that's what I've been up to in terms of work, and I mean, you probably all figured that out by me posting so many things about Mi Medico. But aside from that, we're trying, as a clinic, we know that there's a lot of disparities, and there's a lot of things we want to address in our community. One of those being that Latinos are being highly affected by COVID. And so, for example, I went back to look at our electronic medical records, and I saw that within the month of May, within the month of May, and May isn't even over, but within this month, we've already had 2.5 times more cases of COVID than we did in April. But everyone, or like the city is already planning to end the stay-at-home order, and that's crazy because we are mid-peak in the Latino community. And even though the overall trend has already maybe started going down, it's not the case for our Latino community. Like, it's rising. And so that just blows my mind. Like, you know, I really urge you all to be careful with that. And so our clinic is trying to bring more awareness of that, and just let you all know that there are free resources, either to get tested for COVID or to learn more information about COVID. Again, we take undocumented patients, and if they have any COVID concerns or they do have COVID, we will treat them for free. And so I really like that, you know, we are supporting our Latino community. And so I've been working on that. We're making videos to help educate our patients. We created the COVID care packages, which you saw in the previous video. So I've been working on that. Been working on these YouTube videos on my free time as well. I think I'm gonna sign up for classes as well this summer, just because I need to get that science GPA up. It's not high, and I need it to be high up there for medical school. So I'm signing up to take a few more classes this summer. Hopefully it goes well. I don't know how it's gonna work since it's online. And I applied into an MCAT program to get free sessions, or like a free class for the MCAT. I'm like blanking out on words, but like this test prep course. But the demands of it are high. Like, you have to study 5 days a week from like 7 to 5 every day, and I can't do it with work. So I applied to it, and if I do get in, that would be great, but I don't think I'm gonna end up doing it because I just can't. And this is one of the barriers, I guess, too, for like minority students or low-income students in general, is that, you know, a lot of these programs, it's either you work or you do the program, and I can't not work. I have to pay rent. I live on my own. I can't just ask my parents for, you know, $1,000 for rent. Like, that's not how it works, at least not for my family. And so I do have to make choices like this where, you know, there might be a super great program that might introduce me to some cool people or get me farther, like, you know, maybe higher MCAT score, but I can't do it because there's certain things I can't, like, I have to work. And so if it comes between this MCAT program and work, I have to work, and that's that. And so I was kind of sad about that because the program sounded really cool, and I did apply for it. I haven't gotten a response back, so I might not even have to make that decision of like choosing between the program and work. But if it does come down to it, I have to choose work, and so that was a bummer because it sounded cool. And what else? I applied to that MCAT program. So initially, I guess before graduating, I did want to apply into medical schools this summer. And, you know, I was ready. I was like, you know, I've been waiting for this for so long. It's been like 4.5 years of college, and, you know, I know this is a path for me, and I know this is what I want to do. But then money issues came into play again, and I started preparing my personal statement. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start, you know, studying for the MCAT, and I was still missing 2 courses. I'm missing, I think Orgo 2 and Physics. I'm still missing those, and I was like, okay, you know, I'll just take those in the spring. After I graduate, I'll take it at like community college, and then apply in the summer, like this summer. And I didn't have the money for those courses. I didn't. I can't ask anyone for money. It was like over $1,000. I'm like, where am I gonna get $1,000 from, like, for in a couple weeks? Like, it's not gonna happen. I think there, by that time too, I had barely started making money at the clinic, because I was a volunteer before, and so, you know, I didn't have enough income to pay for it. We had just moved into a new apartment, so, you know, you have to pay like the deposit and the rent and all this stuff, and that was like, my boyfriend was paying all of that, and so, like, luckily we had enough for that, but there just wasn't room for me to take classes. And I was really bummed out, actually, because you can only apply into medical school like basically once every year, and that's in the summer, and so that means I would have to wait a whole other year. And I was like, you know, I don't want to wait anymore. Like, I just want to apply, and I want to see if I get in, so, you know, I can keep going and trying to pursue my dream. But yeah, I just didn't have the money. So when you don't have the money, there's not much you can do. And so, you know, I tried to think about it like in a positive way, and it's like, okay, well, now I have time to get my GPA up and take a few more classes, and I could do more research. I could do research in different places or different areas and see if I like something else. And so that's when I started thinking about applying into like a clinical coordinator position and things like that. But then COVID happened, and now I've been seeing that, you know, there's a lot of medical students stressed out because they can't take their MCAT because of COVID. You know, now there's all these other factors that are coming into play when applying into medical school this summer, and I'm like, now I'm kind of like, okay, you know, it's a good thing I waited. It's a good thing that I'm applying next summer, and even though there might still be some barriers into applying next summer, like, I still don't know if classes are going to go back to normal or when that's going to happen. Like, are they going to be online until next year or like next school year? Like, I don't know. But yeah, so I was really bummed out that I had to push back applying into medical school until next year, but, you know, everything happens for a reason, and now we're here, and, you know, using it all as a learning experience. And I mean, yeah, not much else has happened in my life. I did move into a new apartment with my boyfriend, and that's been fun. I've enjoyed it. Done a lot of cooking, a lot of baking. I did move into a better area, and that has been interesting. I've always lived on the south side, and, you know, that was always home for me. It was always normal. Everything that happened, you know, that's what it is. And so there were a lot of not a lot of shootings, but there were shootings every now and then, and, you know, you just hear it and you're like, okay, whatever, go to bed. You know, there was robberies, like, cars would get broken into, but I always thought that was just normal, you know, like, everyone gets their car robbed, or, you know, everyone hears shootings, and apparently that's not true. And so now living over here more on the north side, it's a lot calmer. People walk their dogs at night. People walk their dogs early in the morning. I think I've only heard gunshots once, maybe twice. And I've been here maybe for like 3-4 months. So not bad. Probably by my house it was a little bit more often. But yeah, so that's been really interesting, living in a different area. I remember when I was still going to like work early in the morning and taking the bus, like, I would take the bus with more privileged people, and that just blew my mind, because I was used to taking the bus with like only Hispanics, and they were like construction workers, because they were the ones who had to wake up early, and like maybe people who were going to go like clean, and like, you know, they were not lawyers, or like majority of the people like on the bus and on the train with me were either students or like honestly like construction workers. Like, I would see them in their and their clothes to go to work, and their lunch boxes that like are giant coolers. And so yeah, I'm still shook by that. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it blows my mind how different your experience on the bus could be in different neighborhoods. But yeah, I guess now I'm just ranting about life. But yeah, so I'll keep you all updated on what I do with my life. But for now, I'm just working at a clinic and being trained as a medical assistant and trying to do my part in helping our patients with COVID and trying to make it easier for them. So yeah, if you guys ever have any questions on like anything that I'm doing, or you want to join whatever I'm doing, just give me a text. Comment down below. And I think that's it. I'm gonna end it now. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Hopefully they're more exciting than this one. This one I was just like, I'm just kind of feeling down too. It's like, just gotta chill today and enjoy the long weekend. Bye guys, see you next time.